you are, you will all soon be breaking out of one world to soar into another. A feeling I wanted to hold on to forever.
First, let's go back to a time when things began. No, not that far back. The year is 2018. J-Hope's Hope World is set to be released in a few months, as well as BTS announcing their Love Yourself World Tour. But before all this, a new game was released. On the day of January 14th, 2018, Superstar BTS was released. I personally didn't find out about Superstar BTS until around January 23rd, when two of my friends introduced me to BTS. But this isn't the story of how I got into BTS, that could be for a later video. Instead, here's a rough video to show you how I got into Superstar BTS. Now, the first few months of Superstar BTS were for the most part uneventful, pardon the pun. Yes, there were a few new songs and the occasional events, but the game back then was so much different. I mean, first of all, upgrading was a bitch. You used to have the exact same card, so literally the same theme and grade, which meant it was virtually impossible to actually get a full Prism Archive album without luck. Not that any of us actually had albums like that back then. Of course, back then, me as a non-Korean user had to find other ways of actually getting onto the game, so I had to log on to my friend's Korean Apple account, thank you Zan, just to download and update the game, and let me tell you, before global release, that was painful. April/May 2018. This period marked the first big change in Superstar BTS's history. This was when the upgrading system was changed to the version we know and love in hindsight today. As well as this, we got the release of the first full-fledged BTS comeback on the actual game, that being Love Yourself tier, and Hope World was a few weeks earlier. This era was also when I, as a baby army, began my Superstar videos for you guys, so thank you if you're still here from those times. At this point, I was mostly able to complete most songs on 3 stars and hard difficulty, and my life was vastly focused on Superstar BTS. We also got some pretty cool events during the spring of 2018, my favourites being the Golden Dog event, which was in February, and the Spring Bingo event, which was in early April. Summer 2018. This era of Superstar was a bit of a plateau. For me anyway. Due to this being before modern day Superstar, events did not necessarily roll out every week, and sometimes there would be a song every 2 weeks, and not every week, like we're used to now. However, I will never forget the 10 Hardest Songs event. Despite me being on holiday in Mauritius at the time, I continued to do the event and try it and complete it. But the beginning of the modern age of Superstar BTS really began after the release of BTS's second album in 2018, Love Yourself Answer. From here onwards, there were much more frequent events and updates. This era also brought the beginning of member birthday events, which, as we know from 2020, they can be very rewarding for us users. One important update to take from the summer event was the introduction of the Platinum League in June 2018, as this made it so much easier to actually promote into the higher leagues. Rest of 2018. Unfortunately, it seems that the memories of what happened post September 2018 to 2019 were lost in time, as I couldn't find an event archive for them, but fear not, as 2019 was about to change things for Superstar forever. January 2019. With this being the first year of Superstar BTS, it was obvious we'd be getting an anniversary event, which, in my opinion was an okay event, was by far better than the year of the Pig event, which was a massive RP sync which happened just before the anniversary event. The Golden Dog event remained superior. A cool event that from my knowledge was never finished was the Create Your Own Theme event. I made some of my own designs I really wanted to win, but from my knowledge Dalcom never actually added anyone's themes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but here's a few of my themes in case you wonder what I made. Following on from January, we had the Lunar Year event in February, which was also an engaging and fun event. However, I believe I didn't actually finish this event or play the event to its max potential because I was in Berlin at the time. Spring 2019. March was a pretty dry month apart from the hardest song ever being added, which was Cypher Part 4 Suga's Verse. But the biggest change in Superstar BTS's history came in April 2019, the release of Map of the Soul Persona. This not only brought new content, but it also brought a complete revamp of the game's appearance and music, and it has stayed this way since. I personally was not a huge fan at the start, but looking back, the new theme and layout was certainly much more cleaner and better. I do miss the old intro music though, that will never be forgotten. We also got the introduction of the Master League, which would be the final new league added to the game, and some notable events during this time were the Music Challenge event in May, and the Big Thank You event in June, which was shortly followed by an event for new players only, which was a cool addition because new players often were left behind before this. Not to mention, I also hit 1,000 subscribers during this era of Superstar BTS's history, so thank you guys. Following a similar trend to last year, there weren't too many big surprises over the summer of 2019, and this certainly wasn't helped by there not being a new album. But in September of 2019, Jungkook's birthday event changed everything. Darkham made it easier to obtain Prism R cards, and the birthday events were revamped massively, making them 100% worthwhile, as you now have the chance of member-specific R cards, which made getting that perfect theme so much easier. December 2019, the final change to member birthdays came with Jin's birthday. You can now choose a Prism R card to work for as well as other prizes, making that dream of a full album of Prism possible. We also had the Christmas event, which was rewarding until Christmas Day, when you couldn't finish it due to actually having to pack an R card, which wasn't easy back then. This concluded the year of 2019 and the final era in which Superstar BTS was its true self. 2020, the death of Superstar BTS. Now, it would be a lie to say that the whole of 2020 was a disaster for Superstar BTS, as the first few months, up until roughly Map of the Soul 7's release, were relatively normal and in fact rewarding. However, speculations began when there was no new album update when Map of the Soul 7 released in February. Many believed it had just been pushed back a week for reasons because of the coronavirus pandemic, which at the time was highly infectious in Korea. But after more and more weeks with zero communication and no new album, speculations that the game was coming to a close began to arise, especially on Superstar BTS's Reddit page. Although many actually denied that the game was ending, I believe that this may well have been the end myself. And sadly, on May 7th, 2020, Darkham Soft announced the closing of Superstar BTS on June 23rd, which coincides with the release of this video. Now, I must give credit to Darkham Soft, as they could have left the game as it was, but they have continuously updated it, allowed for refunds for their in-game purchases, as well as allowing everyone to get Prism R cards just for logging in. Furthermore, the addition of full-length songs such as Epilogue Young Forever and the return of other full-length songs was a pleasant surprise and one I greatly appreciated. And now here we are, the end of a 2-year journey, which has been full of fun, hope and pain. But no, as sad as this is, we will all meet again in the future, and I hope Big Hit have a bigger plan for a new rhythm game, and if they do, I'll continue to bring you that content. But for now, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who has made this possible. For me to be sitting here making this video is because you guys, as Superstar fans, have brought me so much joy throughout the years, and you guys literally are the reason I'm still on this platform today. To all of you who have watched my videos, messaged me on social media, told me about your own Superstar experiences, and just watched any of my content, just a massive thank you. I purple you, and I hope that we can all meet again in the future, and I hope that you stick by me and we can venture onto this new future. And I just want to say another massive thank you to my friends who got me into this game and into BTS. That group chat will forever be legendary, and I can't thank you guys enough either. But until we all meet again, stay young forever, love yourself, and see you soon. 감사합니다. Nue Chingu Benito. 안녕.